Let's start talking about the Pickle module in Python. Before we do that, we have to cover what are modules. Well, there's three different kinds of modules in Python. There are built-in modules, and that's what the Pickle module is. There are third-party modules, and those are modules that we download from sites and other repos, other repositories. And then there's custom modules, and those are the ones that we and other developers write, and we could include in our code ourselves. So again, Pickle is a built-in module. You don't have to download anything extra. It's very similar to the math module, and among many other things are built in. They're freebies in Python, and so we can just let Python know we plan on using them, but we don't need to get any file from any external source. So again, Pickle is a built-in module, and let's go right through it. So right now, what's the big deal with Pickle, by the way? Pickle allows you to serialize an object, for example, and deserialize an object. What does that mean? That means that we can take this dictionary, for example, write it to a file, but not just as a string format, kind of like how we did that in the previous video, just saving a string to a file and then reading from that file and printing the string and that type of thing. That's fine, we could do that, but sometimes what we want to do is we want to grab this object, in this case it's a dictionary, save it and preserve it in a file, right? This is going to be a binary format, so that will allow us to open this file up later at some later time whenever we choose. We open that file and read that binary format, and we'll be able to use that data. For example, in this case, it will be a dictionary. So we'll be able to take that dictionary and read the keys and iterate through the items and so on and so forth. It is not going to be a string. It's going to be an object. It's going to preserve this dictionary format. So that's what we do in line number 4. We're going to just define this dictionary with a make key, the year key, and the color key, and Ferrari as a value, 2024 is the year value, and red as the color value. So with open, and we know that's a context manager. Context managers, if you remember from my previous videos, it allows you to not have to close the file manually. So with open as a context manager, it will close the file for you automatically. Now, just for the sake of this video, I am not doing a try block, but we know we always should do a try block whenever we're dealing with files. File opening, file IO, input and output. We always, it is a good rule of thumb, it is a best practice to always do a try catch. Well, try except in Python. Why? Because there's a lot of things that could go wrong, like maybe we don't have access to the file, maybe the file doesn't exist if we're trying to read from it, maybe we don't have access permissions, either read or write, maybe there's something wrong with the network, maybe there's something that doesn't allow us to perform those operations on that file. So we don't want the program to stop the execution. We don't want to halt execution. So we want to continue and gracefully recover from these exceptions, from these errors that could come up that are not tied to any of our code specifically. So with open, that's what we're going to do. We're going to open up this file. It's a data.pickle file, the pickle extension. It's completely random. It's a good naming convention just to note that is a pickle object, right? It's a pickle, the pickle module created this file, but you don't have to give it a pickle extension. It doesn't really mean anything. So for the mode, we're going to do write and binary. We need to do binary. Why? Because we want this not to be text. We are going to have this be a dictionary. So W and B for binary. We're going to do it as file. File is going to be the handle. Then we do pickle, which is what we imported in line 1. Dump method, right? Pickle.dump. We're going to dump the data, whatever we created in line number 4. We're going to save it in this file handle. Right after, so this saves this file, and you can see here, this is going to be the data.pickle file. And then we're going to deserialize. We're going to read from this data.pickle file. We're going to read binary format as file. That's going to be a handle. It could be anything, but we're giving it file here, and of course it's going to be a different file, right? It's gonna overwrite the previous definition of file. So here we're going to say file pickle.load file, and whatever that gets loaded, we'll assign it to this loaded data variable, and that's what we're going to print here in line number 14. So let me run this, and if you run it, we can see that, well, first of all, we do have a printout here. It's printing this, but before we do that, let's see what happens when we dump it into this file called data.pickle. Data.pickle looks like this. It is a binary file, so that means nothing to us specifically. You can see there's some things in here that we can tell, like color, year, and Ferrari, but it's really a binary file. It's not meant for humans so much as computers. So that's that file that gets read here. And when that gets read, it gets basically assigned to this loaded data. And that's what we print here. So the beauty of this is that then we can say loaded data, or we can print loaded data and go get me, I don't know, get me the make. And we can see that we get the Ferrari here for the make, because that's what we had here. So just to give you an idea that that's not really a string. This is a dictionary that we can still use the dictionary notation, the mechanisms to go ahead and deal with a dictionary. I hope this makes sense.